Hello and welcome back and welcome to 2020. It's New Year's Day here in Australia and I'm here today to take you through my bullet journal as promised, the last of my planning for 2020 videos, number 4, and we're going to get underway. Now to start with, I'd like to say I have a bit of credential in this area. What is it? Bona fides. Right, bit of weightlifting here, hang on, and one more. These are my bullet journals from only the last 4 years. I've been bullet journaling from long before it was called a bullet journal, and having your life in a book is a very simple way of keeping it all together. It's a place for your day-to-day life, what you have to do, the wish lists, the goals, you can put all in one place. Here's my last year's one, all filled out and done and dusted and over. And it's finished. There we go, my last one for that decade. I have only the last 4 years of bullet journals. The others have all been tossed along the way, but I'm not ready to get rid of these ones just yet. And it's been quite an interesting few years for me, so it's good to have a record. So there we are, my bullet journals up till yesterday, and now I'm ready to move on into a new year and a new decade. 2020, it's got a great ring to it. Now you'll notice that with my previous bullet journals they were consistently red, but in the absence of red ones, when I went to my new one, I decided that I'm changing the colour. So I found a grey one that I liked, and it's going to be the new colour for the new year anyway. I would have preferred white. Anybody who knows me knows I like white. So here we go. This is my new bullet journal, and let's go and open it up and have a look and see what's inside. So what do you need to start bullet journaling? Well, by definition, a journal, a book, a plain one. This one is a Clairefontaine. It's a dot grid, which means that it just has these little, can you see them? Tiny, very faint dots, which I very much like. And apart from that, it's virtually plain. In the front it does have an index, or as they say, contents, which is part of what many people use in a bullet journal. I tend not to, but maybe this year I will, who knows. At the moment I can't possibly see myself using all of these, and I'll probably end up by just gluing one to the back of the frontispiece, and I may even cover these and just put my own titles on them, because I'm not in love with that title process, but that's all by the by. And the whole point about bullet journaling is that you do make it work so that it's just right for you. Now then it's just a matter of, here we go, these ones are all numbered, which saves me a tiny bit. I mean, really though, it doesn't take a lot to write your own numbers on the pages, but it is a good idea to write them in and get that underway. So now I'm just going to start setting up for this year. Now, how do I decide what to have? Let me see, I'll pull you back up here so you can see me. Yeah, most of me. Now, how do I decide what to have in my journal year to year? Well, I always go back over my old ones. That's the first place to start. Sorry, I was looking at myself in the viewfinder and not at you. I always go back over my previous journals and just see what I've used, see what I have set up and ignored, and there's always something like that. Those sorts of things, they work. That's sort of my go-to. And so I just write a list of all the things that I do want to have in it, and then if I change my mind month to month, well, my bullet journal, that's easy to do. Next month I'll just set it up with a bit added in. So whatever you do, don't get stuck in anyone's particular template. And I think all the bullet journalers out there, if you Google this or look on YouTube, they will all say the same, that it is an entirely flexible system, and that is why it works so well for so many of us. That while it takes honestly once a month, it takes maybe half an hour to set up. Hopefully I'll get half the year in here. I break my year into quarters. Old habits die hard. So this is for Q1 and Q2, and I think at that point I'm happy if I can get 2 quarters into this, so 6 months. I'll be very pleased. I do use other journals to help me get through the day. For example, I have one that just does an hourly breakdown on a daily basis, and that's just an absolute use it, scrap it type one, but it's good for blocking out time. But I don't keep those. They don't record anything of any significance. They just are a day-to-day how I set up my days. And I do also have a budget journal that some of you will have seen. If you haven't, then I have my budgeting videos up here, and I've set it up in that with you. Now, I have done some previous bullet journal setups. I'll link those up here. And in general, though, the only thing I would say is grab a book and start playing with some ideas and see what works for you, because you know me, it's all about what works for you. Okay, so here's my setup for the beginning of 2020. Now, the tools that I'll be using today are pretty simple. I have a short ruler, a couple of markers, a very pale, slightly pink actually, marker that will just define some lines for me, pencils, which I've probably mostly used already, and at the end of it I'm going to have to rub out the pencil lines that I already have, because if I don't set up pencil lines, we'll be here with the whiteout tape forever. So I've got you sitting as though you're looking over my shoulder, because honestly the over the top ones are just a little on the contrived side, and I'll show you what I've done when I've got to the end. But here we go. I was filming you so that you were looking over my other shoulder. So this is my major goal page. I've finished writing it up, drawing it up. Now I'll show you what I've done. Let's remember, minimalist. So the beginning, just all of these content pages that I will be unlikely to use. A very simple first page. It says 2020, teeny weeny writing, and the months that are going to be in this journal with luck. Then it's the monthly checklists, and then I'm into the goals. Now, goal setting, as you know, is such a huge thing, and I think that it's really important to get these clear right at the beginning of the year. So my major goals, I've got 4 of them. No, I'm not writing them in for you. I might talk about them later on, but not today. But the important thing is I've just free-handed these boxes because I didn't want it to take any more time than it already was going to. And it's what, why, how and when, because it's super important to actually have it on your calendar when that will be completed by. How is obvious. Also, it's the steps you're going to need to get to that goal. The why is the driver, and you need to be clear about what the goal really is. And then at the bottom, I think it's a variation. It's my variation on a Jim Rohn quote, and it says that what you get by achieving your goals is less important than who you become along the way. I've put in some self-care mini goals just for fun, so that every quarter I give myself a little mini break, a day or a weekend. Look, even if I just drive up, into the country for the day, or take myself to the hot pools, something like that, whatever it is, then that is definitely that every month, every quarter, so 4 times a year minimum, I'll do that for a mini break. Every month I'm going to have a facial, a massage, a play day. Now, a play day is perhaps taking myself to the museum, or just anything I want to do. A day shopping in the city, who knows, but it's my day, a play day, and also a day when it's just lunch with myself, just because I'm, be my own company. Every week, a movie night, buy or borrow a book and read it, a mani-pedi, and buy some flowers, or steal some from a friend's garden. Then comes my book list for the first 2 quarters, 48 books, which is, basically just under 100 for the year. And I well and truly did it last year. I think I read about 120 books last year. So I like writing them down. It keeps me honest, and I put a little happy face or a sad face, depending on whether I liked it. And I try to mix between sort of good fun, quick read, junk food stuff, and something more serious that makes me think. But I do increasingly avoid books that I find even if they are well written, even if they are really good books. I'm sorry, if they depress me, I stop reading. It's self-protection. I tend to choose ones that are a bit more upbeat these days. Future log, this is simply just like the major things that are happening through each month of the year, just so I can check. Okay, if I know if I've got a doctor's appointments, I think end of January, I've got people coming into town in February and March, dental appointments, those sorts of things. Anything, you can just jot a date down and you've got enough space going across for a few major dates. And this is where you look as you are doing your calendar for each month. You just have a quick look and see what's active for that month. So you've always got that sort of 12-month overview of major dates. Okay, into the months. Now, January, here we go. Just, hey, it's January. I've got a tiny calendar there. I'll never look at it. I know me. This is my January calendar. I don't draw it out in boxes. I like a running down style, and I just put the highlighters on the weekends just to break it up and to sort of give myself some idea of where I am. A line a day is exactly what it says it is. I just jot down a line every day on, you know, something, a little bit of gratitude, a little bit of joy, just something that was special about the day. Pop it down there. This is YouTube, so content tracker. Here we go. Number 1, 2020 bullet journal. And over here just some content ideas for my YouTube channel. Here is where I start now tracking my goals. Now this is something that I've decided I had to do more carefully in 2020. I need to keep my goals right up and under my nose. I've got to read them every morning, and I've got to think about what I'm doing for each goal throughout the month. For each goal, I will have a list of the things I need to do in order to progress that goal on here. And here I need specific weekly actions for each of these goals as I go through the weeks. And I'll just put down the specific things I'll do for each goal as I go along. Now this is my daily pages, my January log. And what I do on my daily pages, I put in 1 star item that has to be done. I put room for 3 others that are the top priorities for the day, and anything else can just go down underneath. That's simple. So obviously today I am filming my 2020 bullet journal, and it's the star item that has to get done, and it's getting done. So that's the same for every day. The weekends I don't put the 1, 2, 3 items, but I do put a star. It might be something nice like go to Pilates or go to the market. Always have a star item, something that you can get done every day. Well, sorry, this is what I'm saying for me, that I like to do that so that I feel like something's been accomplished every day. Then, the other thing I've done is that I've put action steps at the top of every page. So these are the ones that I'm working on. I'll just, as I work out what my action steps for my goals are, they're going to be on every page as I work along and see what am I going to be doing for my goals in this week. And that goes all the way through to the end. And then I come to my January review. Now these are just some ideas I had that I could track to see how I'm going when I come to the end of the month. So I put down sort of 3 accomplishments, actions towards my goals, so it's all actions based. My best decision of the month, I think I've already known what this one is. I could actually write this in already, but we'll see how we go. It's that I'm going to work very hard on my negative self-talk. Do people out there have that issue? Because I'm working on that. A skill I've worked on. Now this could be anything. It could be editing. It could be start knitting again. I could decide to sew. I could do anything I've decided to work on. And I can make a note in my January review that what I've worked on and see how it goes. Then of course, because it's the year of being and to be and not to do, my being actions for the month and my plans for February. And then the final page of it, I've just decided I'm going to have probably there'll be a page, maybe 1 snap per week. So 5 snaps, just little pictures of the month, and it will, I think I can probably make 5 fit in there, stagger them down because they're small. I can make really small ones. I've got one of those tiny Canon printers, so we'll see how it goes. So I think that will be quite fun to have 5 little pictures that just remind me of something each week. Now from then on out, it's in theory it's February, but I've only penciled that in because if there's something I need to take notes on that doesn't fit anywhere else, this is where it will go. And this is why it's sort of a fluid journal in the fact that it may or may not last for the 2 quarters. So there we are. I think that's the most important page. And I hope that there was something in this for you, because as I said, every bullet journal has to be just right for its owner, not for me, not for the person next door, for the owner, for you. And while mine isn't an elegant, beautifully drawn and illustrated journal, it's really functional for the things I need it to do. And believe me, as I showed you, I've had a bit of experience in this. And for me, this is the most important thing about my journal, is that it reminds me that what I get by achieving my goals is far less important than who I am becoming along the way. So there we are. That's my bullet journal as promised. So I hope that it was of use to some of you. They are such personal things that the whole point of them is that you shape your bullet journal to suit you. If you're artistic, fill it with joy of your art. If you're a bit like me and you just want super functional, then make it super functional. It just has to suit you. So I hope that in some way that this was helpful for you. And of course I'll be back. We're going decluttering next. Yes, big downsize behind me, but I still keep wanting to get rid of more things, and I simply need to. Bit of fun things coming up in 2020. If you'd like to join me, please subscribe, come along, give me a thumbs up if you like this sort of thing. And I hope that whatever you're doing today, that you're having a lovely time, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.